Hey YouTube, how is it going today? Welcome to another video. In this video, I want to talk about NETLIST Incorporated, ticker symbol NLST. This stock was rolling over hard on big volume, so I want to go over the chart and let you know if I got in or not. And then after that, I want to get into a day trade that I made today. I want to show you a little adjustment that I made on my chart that could help you spot potential intraday bottoms. Now, if you're new to my channel, I have been trading and investing for over 20 years, and in each video I will show you trades that I see setting up right now. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any future trading and investing ideas. And also, if you would like to support the channel and become part of our Patreon community and see what we are buying and selling in real time for a measly $10 a month, that link is in the description. All right, so let's get into these charts of NETLIST Incorporated, ticker symbol NLST. But before I get started, as always, if you don't mind helping me out with the YouTube algorithm and liking that smash button for me, it would really make me happy. But please remember, I'm not a financial advisor. All this is just my opinion. I'm just trying to show you what I'm seeing in the charts. But right now, I am going to start off with the daily chart of NETLIST. And as we can see, it's having a very big volatile day. And the volume is just enormous. I ended up buying some today, and I'll get into where I bought it at in just a second. But man, I know I asked you guys if you wouldn't mind selling me some shares, but you did not have to do it all at once. I mean, everybody was like rushing for the exit, or at least somebody was, because man, the biggest volume day of the last several weeks was today, and the day isn't even over yet. So, wow. But anyway, I ended up buying some at this 8-period exponential moving average for the first order. I thought for sure that was probably going to offer some better support than what it did. And then once the bottom fell out of it again, I put another order down here at $6.32. When it was coming down, I was hoping it was going to get a bounce off that 21-period exponential moving average, and that's what we got so far. So I'm actually have a double-sized position in this one right now. So it went from nothing to pretty good sized position in a hurry. But the low of the day was 631, so I was pretty close to the low on that second purchase. But right now I am up just a little bit on the stock, maybe a few $100, $600 or $700 or something like that. So I'm not up a whole lot, and I didn't buy a ton of shares. I only bought like 1,000 shares. So well, I'm in this stock now, so for better or for worse, hopefully for better. But man, just a phenomenally huge day. And you know, I thought we were going to get a breakdown sooner or later. Even when stocks have, you know, fantastic potential and they've made a huge run, you always get at least a decent sized pullback. Who knows what starts it, who knows what finishes it, who knows if this is going to be the top or not. I wouldn't think so, but time will tell. But anyway, let's go to the 15-minute chart real quick and take a look at what I was talking about in some of my previous videos. I know some of you guys out there, you're not interested in technical analysis at all, but this helps me determine where price is going in the short term. I think technical analysis is rather effective in finding where prices are going in the short term. The longer term is where it tends to, you know, for me anyway, it's not as useful. But what I talked about in my previous video when it was making this triangle pattern here, usually after a long run up, these are usually bullish continuation patterns, but once you've had a long run up, I kind of expect these things to fail. You know, kind of like how this one failed right here after, you know, several up days in a row. Now we had several more up days in a row, and it made a pretty volatile, I guess you can call it a bullish triangle, just a triangle consolidation. And man, you had a big down bar right here, so you could tell there was some selling coming into the market, making this a very choppy consolidation. And you know, I was waiting for it to resolve to the downside, and it sure did, and it sure did in a hurry. But that's why I was just waiting for a lower price to enter this stock, because normally when a formation like this starts to occur after a long run up, then you tend to get a breakdown to the downside. And actually, let's go look at the previous one that broke down and see if we can see how it broke down and you know, what happened afterwards. Obviously it had some more follow through to the upside, but after you had that sharp breakdown, it kind of went sideways, and then it just rounded out, made what they call a J-hook pattern, and then just actually some people call this a pinball pattern as well. But anyway, kind of went sideways, found a floor immediately, and then took off, and we're having a little bit different of a pattern right now. Let me go back forward. we're having a little bit more different of a pattern right now because it had huge selling and then a spike reaction up. So the fact that this is holding these levels off of this low is pretty bullish. So if we can get a break above this consolidation before the end of the day, I think there's a pretty good possibility this thing ends the day above the 8-period exponential moving average on the daily chart, and that would be very bullish for NETLIST. But man, what an absolutely huge day. Let me know in the comments section what you guys were thinking during this pullback. Were you buying more? Hopefully most of you that have high conviction in this stock were taking advantage of it. When a stock is falling really, really hard, really fast, even for me, when I have high conviction in a stock, it's still kind of difficult for me to pull the trigger sometimes because you just never know how low it's going to go. And you have that thought in your mind, is this the top? You know, is this a pump and dump stock? And I got caught up into it. You know, those are kind of thoughts that go racing through my head anyway. But let me know if you guys were buying some of this pullback and, man, where you got in at, because it was definitely a buying opportunity, but it happened pretty quick. All right, the next stock I want to talk about is Air Test Systems, ticker symbol AEHR. I want to talk about this one because I made a day trade in it today, and I want to show you what I did. But I have been talking about this stock for a few days, and I tried to buy it 2 days ago when it was coming down towards this 8-period exponential moving average, but it did not come down to it, and I missed that trade, and it exploded higher. And I was noticing that it just barely was above this first initial takeoff. So I wanted to make an adjustment on this moving average and see if it was following a different one. So I came over here and I adjusted it. I actually put it down to a 7-period exponential moving average. And when I did that, you could see that it touched that moving average just perfectly a couple days ago. So I put my order in to buy some at $5.61 and actually made it just a little bit below that, and then it reversed. And I got out at $6.44. But what I really want to, convey in this chart right here is that you don't have to always follow those main moving averages, because sometimes stocks on certain time frames are following different moving averages. I like to keep the 8-period exponential, the 21-period exponential, the 50-period simple moving average, and the 200-period simple moving average on my charts all the time, because those are the ones that I have noticed that get bounced off of the most. But if you see a stock that is going just below 1 or just above 1, it looks like it's done it a few times. The point is you want to find out which moving average that chart or that stock is obeying on that time frame. It could be a 29-period simple moving average. If that stock is following that moving average on that time frame, then that's the one you want to use. You want to find the one that the stock is obeying right now. So I saw that this one was not coming down to the 8-period exponential moving average, so I adjusted it to the 7-period exponential moving average, and it filled it just above, or right at that moving average, and it only went just a little bit below it before it reversed. And let's go to the minute chart, and I'll show you how I managed this trade. When the stock came down to 561 is where it executed my order. It kind of went sideways for a little bit. I was up just a little bit in the stock, and then it exploded higher. So I backed the chart out, and I wanted to get out at this area right here where it offered some, where I thought I was going to find some resistance. It went just a little bit above it. I got out at 644, and if we zoom in a little bit, we can see that it was definitely finding some resistance there. Blasted through it real quick, so I could have made a little bit more on it. I could have squeezed out just a little bit more potentially if I got lucky, but then it reversed. Now it came back all the way down to about 595-ish or so, and it's starting to retrace back up, so it wouldn't surprise me one bit if this thing does have some more follow through to the upside. But these are just the type of day trades that I like to play in these type of markets where everything seems like it's pretty volatile. There's a lot of breakouts that are failing, so when those breakouts start failing more often, I like to just switch it over to more day trades and keep my risk low. But I just wanted to show you this chart in Air Test Systems, and also I wanted to go into XELA. I've talked about this one several times. I've made several videos on it, and I did not end up buying into XELA again. In my last video, it was making this pattern here on the 15-minute chart. It was making my last video was when it was making this little looked like an inverted head and shoulder pattern, and I talked about how I wanted to potentially buy it if it broke through this resistance area, and this is why I wait for this resistance area to get broken first and make sure that the the actual bottom is going to stay in that stock. Once it starts making a formation like this, that's the first step. The second step would be a break above this resistance area for the stock to prove that it's found a floor. If it hasn't proven that it's found a floor, usually I don't like to put money at risk in it. As we can see, it rolled over again. So I still have my eye on XELA Technologies for another re-entry. I think it's probably going to have a move up here before too long. It has pulled all the way back from about $5.50 a share down to about $2.30. So it's pulled back about 58% at the moment. But I definitely expect another reaction move up, and I think that's going to be tradable in XELA. So I'm going to keep my eye on this one, and if something starts shaping up, I will put that in a video.
Okay everyone, that is all I have for this video, so I'm going to end it right there. But if you have any questions or comments on any of these stocks, or if you have any other ones you want me to take a look at, please leave it down there in the comments section. I will get to them as soon as I can. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end, and until next time, take care everybody.